We got a cheat code. Fell asleep.
JBW, just be white. Now, living in Asia, there's a stereotypical white man. He's tall, maybe he's 6 feet tall, and he is white, but he is not handsome, he is not attractive, and most importantly, he does not put any effort into his personal appearance. He looks out of shape, he's got no sense of fashion, and he comes to Asia, and even the Asian girls do not want him. This is what I'm going to be calling a failed geomaxer. A lot of men who fail at getting girls in the West think that whenever they come out to the East, it's gonna be way easier. Now, whenever I say height does not matter for female attraction, for 90% of guys, it doesn't. Because height is going to be a magnifier of how attractive you are. Now, let's say you're 6'5", like the most ideal height ever, but you got a 5 out of 10 face. A 5 out of 10 from a girl's perspective is literally a 0 out of 10. And what is a 0 times anything? It's still gonna be a 0, man.
Oh my God. I get it.
You're still not going to be on the radar if you are average, and not just with the looks. It's the overall aesthetic. It's how you look as a whole. So today, what I'm actually gonna do, I'm gonna break down my first-hand experience as to when and why height doesn't matter, and pretty much tell you what to do instead. So without further ado, let's get it. The first example I gave, I was actually giving a very specific scenario from my time in Japan. If you are not aware, I lived in Japan for roughly 3 months. Awesome experience. I love Japan. I love the culture, everything. But one thing I did notice is that the men there, on average, are 5'7", but this has the most insane competition out of anywhere I've ever been in the world. Milan during Fashion Week, anywhere in Europe. I've been to Scotland, I've been to London, I've lived in Ukraine for nearly a year. Everywhere in Europe, everywhere in America, the most intense competition is Japan. I'm telling you, if you try to go to Japan trying to geomax like I talked about in the beginning of the video, you're gonna get brutally mogged by these 5'7" handsome MFers. Now, what Japanese people do in particular is they put more pride into their personal appearance than any other culture I have ever seen before. First of all, none of them are fat. Like, there is not any overweight Japanese people. I think the rate of obesity is like less than 1%. I lived there for 3 months. I could probably name on one hand how many people I saw, and I'm like, they're pretty chunky, like they're pretty overweight. Go to America, it's like, boom, 1 out of 2, 50% of you guys are not just like a little chunky, but morbidly obese. That's the intense contrast. All of them take insane care of their hair. Like, you're going to notice there's rarely any baldness, there's not much receding. They all have anime style hairstyles. They've all got the wolf cuts. They've all got either fringe hairstyles, curtains. Like, they all have the most female gaze haircuts possible. Every single one of them, they go out in public, they've got a thin layer of foundation. They've got a little bit of makeup. They do their eyebrows. Like, they do their skincare. They're on top of everything. They take pride in their appearance, man. And their style is just freaking crazy. Like, you're walking the streets of Tokyo, like the average guy, he's rocking all this designer. He's got $1,200 authentic Rick Owens just on his feet, just casually. Things that you typically will never see in a society. And now Japanese women, honestly, they prefer most Japanese men because Japanese men are killing it. And even Western girls, man. Western girls are going to Japan to try to get the Japanese men. And like I said, their average height is 5'7". Now, the younger generation, I will admit, they are getting taller. I would say they're between like 5'9" to 6 feet. They're much taller than previously because now they've actually reintroduced meat a lot more intensely in the past 100 years. So they are growing pretty rapidly. I've noticed that with tall men, you guys always make the mistake. I'm gonna be honest, like, you guys aren't even in the competition. Every single tall guy I look at, he doesn't even try to put in any effort into his physique. Like, they've got skinny fat physiques, man. Like, they're long and stretched out, but they've got a beer belly at the same time. No hairstyle, no effort. Like, there's no amount of effort whatsoever. It's like they've been told their entire lives that just being tall and just being a certain color is good enough, when the truth is it's not. Every single person needs to put in effort no matter what your height is. Now, a huge benefit to being shorter is actually going to be building a physique. So whenever you are taller, you have a lot more muscle to actually fill out. You have a longer wingspan, and so let's say you have the exact same amount of muscle as somebody who's 5'8". You can lift the exact same amount. The person who is 5'8" is literally going to look twice the size as a person who is taller. It's much easier to have the Greek god Adonis golden ratio physique. Whenever you are taller, it's much more difficult to build this. But that's why it's so important, man, if you are shorter, to have the physique. You already are at the disadvantage of somebody who is taller, so this means you need to aggressively take every single advantage possible. Like, if I was not in shape, if I was not doing my looks maxing protocols, if I wasn't maxing out every single stat, then I think tons of guys would mog the heck out of me. There was times in my life I was still 6'5", but I let myself go. I was overweight, my hair looked like doo-doo, I was 20-25% body fat. I get mogged left and right, man. So it's not a matter of, oh, your genetics, your height, blah, blah. It's a matter of how much effort you were actually putting into it. And I'm always saying this one specifically as well. Once you were getting older, I would say past the age of 22, life changes. I know that looks maxing is full of kids, teenagers doing this, but men don't take care of themselves after 22. After they graduate from college, they get their first adult job, everyone gains weight. Everyone stops taking care of their looks, and this just means that you have less and less competition the older that you get. But we all do know how important height is, and especially developing your facial features, everything, which is why I created 2 of the best supplements to actually do both of these and help you optimize everything, man, your hormones and your nutrition. The average person can grow much taller than he is actually allowing himself to. And the number one reason most people don't reach this optimal height growth potential is because nutrient deficiencies. 92% of Americans across all social classes, rich, poor, middle class, are deficient in basic vitamins and minerals. When this happens, IGF-1 human growth hormone shuts down, closing your growth plate. So the solution is Titan Growth 2.0, which has 500 to 1000% of all your daily required nutrients to optimize your high growth genetics. And don't forget to pick up Avery's Rage. This has Tunga Elite 400 milligrams, which has been scientifically proven to boost testosterone by 37%. It's got 200 milligrams of maca root, which the Peruvians used to take before going to war because it made them so intense, so aggressive. It's got boron, which is scientifically proven to decrease estrogen by 39%, which actually boosts HGH and will allow you to develop and grow everything properly. Proper nutrition and proper hormones to optimize your height, optimize your facial structure, and how you feel as a whole. So these 2 supplements are available on kalosique.com. Use the code ARIES right now for 25% off. You can get subscriptions and bundles to save even more. These are the best 2 supplements in existence, and I personally take both of them on a daily basis. And don't forget to join my school, Kalos VIP. This is my school Looks Max. Right now, we've got a lot. We've got my 3-hour Looks Maxing Masterclass, 2-hour High Growth Masterclass, 90-minute Female Nature Masterclass. Right now, we have over 1 hour of my social media masterclass, 4 chapters, 1 more to go, and then next week we're starting our next masterclass, the Male Model Physique Masterclass, all in Kalos VIP. You get access to everything for only $12, usually $55, but right now only $12. Link in the description. One thing I noticed about the Japanese specifically is that they own their height. And any man who owns their height while putting in effort into every single category of life, he's got his money up. Hair is maxed out, face is maxed out, at least a 7 out of 10, which any average person can easily do with some basic looks maxing. He's not going to have problems with women. Do you know who's actually going to have a difficult time with women? It's going to be the short guy who is whining and coping about his height. He uses his height as an excuse for everything. Girls won't like me. Why should I even work out? Girls won't like me. Why should I even looks max? Girls won't like me because of my height. Why should I do this? Why should I try to make more money? All of this. They make excuses instead of taking action. I don't care what cards you've been dealt. I don't care how tall your parents are. And I really don't care how tall you are. Like, yes, you should be optimizing everything to your best ability, but sometimes it's not just going to work out, and you need to own it. You need to be confident. This is what body positivity is, man. Accepting the things that you cannot change to a certain extent and owning the hell out of it. If a girl asks you, are you insecure about being 5'7", whatever it is, you own it. You don't even get defensive. You can even change the subject because you don't even want to talk about this. But somebody who's insecure about his height, he's going to get defensive the second this comes up. Like, you 5'7" is... That's defensiveness. You failed the test. Anytime you get defensive, anytime you get insecure about your height, you've already lost, my brother. You are not the perfect height. You feel a little bit shorter than you really want to be. What do you do now? I've got the step-by-step tutorial. Real quick, let's get it. Number one, obviously, upgrade your physique. This is going to be the first thing anybody should ever do. I don't care what your height is. This is going to optimize your aesthetics. Not just the physique, man. People think this is all about just looking like a Greek god. No, when you get lean, this is when the jawline is visible. This is when the cheekbones are visible. This is when the brow ridge starts popping. This is when your facial symmetry starts coming together. And having proper hormones, having proper nutrition is going to actually help that facial development as well as you lean down. So make sure you're supplementing properly, eating a super healthy, super clean diet, getting tons of sleep, the basics to health optimization. Number two, you need to be mastering your style. You cannot just be dressing like everybody else. And they say style is cope, style is cope. It's not cope, man. It adds an aura. It makes you more attractive. It makes you sexier than ever if you just dress better than other people, man. Having a well-tailored suit, getting really into fashion, and more so having your own look that when people see you walking, you just look like the main character. You exude that energy that this is your life, man. You were essentially in a movie, and you were the coolest person in that movie as well. You have to fix the face, though. You have to fix the face. I know right now, you're watching this, you've never looked up your facial shape. You just get a haircut based off of what everyone else online is doing. You've never dyed your eyebrows. You've never done any skincare. You are not doing mewing. You're not doing mouth taping. You have not experimented with different facial hairs, different eyeglasses shapes. Like, there's so much that you can be doing for the face, and you have to be optimizing it, man, if you really want to look as attractive as possible. You need to perfect your posture and your overall presence. This sounds silly, but the body language, man. How confident do you appear in day-to-day life? This is another thing everyone's going to say, oh, that's cope. No, man. If you take up space, if you're confident, this is way, way more important than just having everything else I've talked about. And the last thing is going to be SMB maxing, man. Look at some of these celebrities, like the most average looking guys, the just average height, average face, everything. The fact that they're famous, the fact that they've got money, this instantly makes them more attractive. So focusing on your personal life, your career, everything, this is gonna help you so much. My goal with this video is quite simple. It's for you to stop being so hung up on your height. I don't want you obsessing about it so much. Optimize it, become as healthy as possible, but don't use this as an excuse to just let yourself go and not put in the effort. And the vice versa is true, man. If you were taller watching this, don't use your height as an excuse to be lazy and not put in the work. Just because you do have that natural edge, maybe you did optimize your health as a teenager, but now you're not putting any effort in, or maybe you've never really gone down the looks maxing rabbit hole. Everyone needs to put in effort. That's it. Subscribe if you're new. I love you with all my heart. Peace.